Is there anything else sweeter? Well, maybe video games. They're pretty great if you ask me. And if you ask Yamada from My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999, then he'd probably say something similar. Today, let's take a look at this amazing rom-com series and see the top 10 differences between the anime and the manga. Number 1.
Akane, ずっと一緒にいようね。
If you've watched the anime and decided you want to go through the story again, but through the lens of the manga, you'll immediately see every apparent difference in design, particularly from the titular gamer boy, Akito Yamada. His hair is just way longer, and closer to that of a model for a high-end salon. And the same goes for the other dudes in this story, like our favorite female playing guild leader, Eita Sasaki, though not as drastic a difference as Yamada's case.
どういうこと？
Some say this aspect of the manga adds to the visual representation of how our beloved characters develop. It also brings us closer to the series' creator, Mashiro, as we see their own vision of the character change over time. While eventually changing closer to the anime's design, we can only be sad that the same hair treatment couldn't apply to our favorite guild sugar daddy, Takezo Kamota. Baldness is a style, in and of itself. Stay strong out there, fellas.
どうせもうその子と付き合ってるんでしょ。
Number 2. In episode 6, we start off with a heap of extra screen time for our favorite little sister from the series, Runa Sasaki. In my opinion, Runa, while extremely cute, is probably one of the only characters in this series which could have a divisive fan base. For one, she's the culprit of the first and only turbulence in the anime. Wherein she outright tricks Akane to meet up with some random sweaty gamer. Because of this extra bit of screen time in the anime does a lot to humanize Runa's character and give that much needed groundedness to her selfishness. This is all the more important in this episode where, due to her shipping of Akane and Yamada, catapults a small incident wherein Yamada is reminded of his past trauma. But really, how can you say no to less Runa? +1 for an anime.
目に入った。見せて。どっちの目？
Number 3.
ごめん、Akane。俺、好きな子できた。
Taking a step back to episode 1 of the anime series, you will quickly notice how much the first page of the manga is given life. With that single page, the anime draws it out for damn near 38 seconds. That doesn't sound like much, but remember it is just one page. The biggest, yet smallest addition is a shot that's just around a second long, where we focus on Akane's necklace. If you're familiar, this necklace plays a bigger part later on in the series. While the necklace is still visible in the manga, it's only explicitly brought to our attention when Akane realizes how she lost it. The very short yet obvious framing of the necklace in the anime does a great job of setting up something further down the line. This is just one showcase of how that added direction by the anime production team gives a bit more magic to this already amazing series.
すいません。あの後見つけたんですけど、踏みました。
Number 4.
たくま。
While we're at it, we can also see another minuscule addition in episode 1 of the anime, which shows that tiny bit of change that improves the overall flow. The scene in question is after breaking up and when Akane's friend Momo is sorta comforting her. After showing the text of his ex asking for his in-game items back, Momo kinda just disappears. Akane just boots up Forest of Savior to let out steam, and we have no information on the whereabouts of the national treasure.
いけない。ついイライラして見ず知らずのアフロに八つ当たりを。
After Akane and Yamada's moment in-game, she does appear again in another scene as per usual. But in regards to the moment Akane was playing, we have no idea where and what she was doing. Was she cold? Was she finding food to sustain her goddess self? Well, in the anime version of this scene, we do see that she simply left to attend class. Which, by the way, is something we hardly see Akane do. But I guess who needs schooling when you have games in high school, gamer boy?
転んだ時に汚しちゃったか。うわ、足もすりむいてる。
Number 5.
マイコ。
ああ。
待って。
In chapter 39 of the manga, we are greeted by a familiar scene from the beginning of the series, the first time Yamada and Akane really hung out and had a drink together. Or at least Akane did, high school boy and all. Also, Yamada is donning his more modern gamer boy look, but we've already said enough about his gorgeous locks. Anyway, it does seem out of place and is not really addressed explicitly, at least in the same chapter. But as we find out later on, it acts as the first sprinkle of flashback that decorates this amazing arc that we've been waiting for the whole time. Confession time! The moment the anime and the manga at that point had been building up to. And what better moment to have it in than with Akane being drunk, just as she was in the beginning. This is really the only explicit frame in the manga that didn't make it into the anime. At least that's how it'll stay until season 2 comes out.
あんなの見せられるつもりじゃなかったのに。
My love story with Yamada-kun at Lv999 is really an amazing rom-com series, and we should be thankful to Mashiro for creating this story and cast of characters. Likewise, if you want to thank us for bringing videos like this to you, then consider leaving a super thanks on this video. In any case, do remember to leave a like and subscribe, and with all this lovely gamer talk, do comment down below what your favorite game is. We'd love to know, and who knows, maybe you find a kindred spirit. Number 6.
悲惨か。やばい。泣きそう。
A large reason why I think the anime in this particular situation is just better in every way is the extra content you get after every episode. As one of the adaptations that take its time, they end up with a decent amount of time to spare in an episode, and a lot of that goes into extra scenes after the ending credits. This is huge for adding extra content to certain scenes, and also adding more characterization with certain characters.
好きです。俺、茜さんのこと。
In the long run though, the scenes aren't all that important, and they don't even appear in the manga, so you're perfectly fine without them. But really, as a fan, it just gives way for a bunch of more exposure to your favorite character. And who doesn't want that? Also, they are easily missed, so make sure good old Netflix doesn't skip to the next episode next time.
私、帰るね。じゃあ、また学校で。
Number 7.
I'll call you.
This doesn't involve a specific scene, but if we're talking the biggest quality of life improvement from manga to anime, the transitions the studio does is for sure one of the best aspects of it. Most times used to connect those scenes from one adapted chapter to another. You will quickly feel the style and snappiness they bring, meshing with the energy of the episode. And to show they're smart about it too, it's not like they do it every time a chapter ends in the anime. During the more dramatic moments, they just allow the scenes to flow to the next, showing once again the mastery of the direction of the anime. The bit of video game sound that plays with most of it too is quite addicting, and will be stuck in your head in no time.
ここ女子トイレだと思うんですけど。
瑠璃姫様。
Number 8.
ドアを開けられないですか？では下から失礼します。
While I do personally prefer the anime, the scenes aren't really all that different, as the manga itself is masterfully paced and framed. It's one of those manga that's pretty much storyboard perfect for an anime. A specific scene I'd like to get into though is on episode 11 where Akane and Momo talk in a restaurant but are bothered by some low charisma gentleman. It's then that Eita comes to the rescue. And I think the anime is able to depict the very quick and sudden change of emotion from our bro Eita beautifully.
なんか自覚がないだけですごい悪い癖があるかもしれないじゃん。何その謎思考。誰と恋愛してもそこ直さないと意味ないみたいな致命的な欠点あるかもって思ったら怖くて。別にないよ。
From the sudden volume down of any surrounding sounds to the intimate, almost ASMR voice that Eita's voice actor then does, it all drives home to the serious face Eita wishes to convey to the two wrestlers. Add to that, a much better visual showing of how Momo is struck with the Eita Riz, a blush here, and a fancier display of newfound admiration for MMOs there, we just get that little bit more from this scene that the manga lacks. Also, there are extra shots in this whole scene overall where Akane looks at Eita, foreshadowing how she wants to include him in their discussion about Yamada love.
焦りすぎ。
大丈夫っすか？
Number 9.
青。
One of the most beautiful moments of the series, while also being one of the saddest, Yukari Tsubaki is laying it all out there for Yamada. To be able to truly free herself from this bothersome feeling called love, she's bearing her heart to get the rejection she knew would come. While you may have noticed how much I have a bias towards the anime, there is no doubt that the feelings conveyed by the mangaka Mashiro shine through hard during the panels of this scene.
何か手にされ書いた人知ってる。
While the anime by no means did this scene a disservice, there's just a visceral feeling you get when you're on a sad panel with extra detail and you just stare at it. Of course, you could theoretically pause the anime too, reading just allows for the moment to take you even harder as it is as long as you let it. But I think the apex of this scene comes in the final page of the chapter, where it's all laid out neatly in a single page. With the teary-eyed Tsubaki making her escape, the bottom half of the page shows the one moment they shared long ago, when she first realized the beautiful fact that she loved Akito Yamada.
そんな妙な気の使い方しないで。
ちょっとくらい変に思われないと何にも始まらないでしょ。特に君は。
譲り合って話がつかない感じかな。
Number 10.
好き。
Anime Quite a meta comparison as it does deal with the title over the actual episode events. But in my opinion, it is one of the more poetically beautiful things found in the series as a whole. Episode 12 of the anime adapts Chapter 34, both titled I Like You or Love. Whatever gets your Japanese language classes going on. The difference is, the anime continues after Chapter 34, also including a very crushing scene 2 chapters later. I am of course referring to another scene with our favorite glasses girl, Yukari, which poetically has her not wearing glasses.
待ってすいません
As Yamada helps her get her glasses from the wet ground, both of them drenched by the rain, Yukari is reminded of what's in her heart. And she lets it out, professing the coveted rom-com words, I like you, to our boy Yamada. Having this be in the same episode title of I Like You just adds that little bit of beautiful, yet sad, poetry to the experience. Not to mention, as Akane runs to Yamada in Chapter 34, she is meant to think I like you as she's facing him. But in the anime, it doesn't happen. As obvious as the words may seem by that point, the episode title now changing context, no longer just referring to Akane as the manga suggests, but now an important utterance referring to Yukari Tsubaki.
いいの疲れてない
話聞くくらいなら別に俺に話し相手が務まるかは疑問だけど。
Well, that's all for this episode, and boy did we end on a devastatingly sad note. Do remember to subscribe and leave a like and comment down below. It helps us know if you want more of this content. Until next time!